Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back, and welcome to our demo and review of the Mega Amp. So it is a tiny little lamp, it's not that mega. But I have seen these things, and I was able to snag one today. And so we cleaned it up, and it looks actually brand spanking new, not a mark on it, so kudos. Anyways, we are going to test this little puppy out with my Gibson Les Paul. So extremely cheap amp against a really expensive guitar. I should have named it that, but it's a demo and review, so we can't do that. Anyway, so let me zoom out. And so I'm recording this with my camcorder, so it does have stereo mics, and you're going to get what this thing actually sounds like in my room. So no trickery, no mixers, none of that stuff. So we do have a clean channel and a dirty channel. We have low and high, so basically bass and treble. We have a master volume. We don't have a gain control though, so you don't really need one with a little speaker. I think that's probably somewhere around maybe a 5.5 inch speaker, somewhere around there. I'd have to actually look up the specs to tell you exactly what it is. But you can always, well, maybe we'll put the, if we can find the specs online, the link will be in the video description, so just click on it if it's there. But in the meantime, let's see what this thing sounds like with some 57 classics. So we're going to be on the bridge, and we're going to go bridge and then middle position and neck, you know the deal. I should mention we're only at 9 o'clock on the dial, so that's basically 2 for those of you who don't know. Position. And neck. She's a little chimey, reminds me of a Strat. Look, what happens if we go to single coil mode here? Calms it down a little. Single and hum. Two singles. Okay, so if we turn the tone off, oh, it's so much better. Full bass and no treble. Okay, not too shaggy. Alright, so let's turn up the volume to about 10 o'clock on the dial. Wow, does that ever break up? Sweet. Let's turn that back down a little bit. Okay, let's go to distortion. Back to 9 o'clock on the dial. Bass and treble are in the middle. bass and no tone. Wow. Alright, let's try back in the middle. Let's go tone pot on the pickup. It's got some serious bite. Let's go halfway. This is really going to hurt the ears. Alrighty, so, interesting little amp. I want to check out the back end. I haven't really even looked at this thing. I just got back from work, so, yeah, it doesn't tell us much. It's a mega amp. Has a headphone jack, CD tape, 1/4 inch jack for that, so you're going to need an adapter to go from 1/8 inch to stereo 1/4 inch for inputting a CD, or headphones, of course. You're going to need an adapter for that, or a full-sized 1/4 inch stereo headphone plug on your headphones. Probably going to sound better though through headphones, more than likely, because that little speaker is really crispy. It's a VL-10 is the model, so let's try and assume probably 10 watts, but who knows? We're going to have to find out. I like doing a review like this where I really don't know squat about the thing other than it's a mega amp. But like I said, we will definitely search this thing out online, find out what's going on with it. So if we can take a second to do that, guys, I will search that out while we're talking. Now, like I said, I got a deal on this thing, so not a huge deal. Mega amp VL-10. And what do we get here? Oh, hey, it's actually carried by Acclaim Sound and Music. That is cool. So, it sells for about 119 bucks. If you buy it online, they'll sell it to you for 57 bucks. Well, that's kind of interesting. Go in the store and pay double. Yeah, weird. 5-inch custom design speaker, so it wasn't far off. CD, tape, iPod, iPhone input, volume, overdrive, high-low tone gain control, input jack, headphone jack, 10 watt, as I suspected, VL-10, 10 watt. Warranty discontinued. Oh, so they're selling B-stock ones. So basically they have some issues, I guess. Anyways, so yeah, that's our information on that. So it is a mega amp, it is 10 watts, so now we don't have to put this in the video description. So yeah, 10 watts, 5-inch speaker, overdrive, like I said, we have that there. It's crispy. Let's discuss. We need to talk about this. Now, I didn't pay anywhere near even $60 for this thing, obviously. I got it used. I've been looking at these things for a while, and I thought, well, I have an opportunity to snag one for a good deal. Why not do a review? It's something that's not even on my channel for amps yet, and I love doing amp reviews for you guys. So we put a really expensive guitar into a very cheap amp. Now, like I said, they're asking 120 bucks for this thing, like in-store, or $57 online. Unless it is $57 in-store too, but it did have the price tag marked on the website as 120 bucks, or you can just add to cart and you can get it for 57. So who knows how that really works with them. I have not dealt with Acclaimed Sound and Music in forever, okay? I prefer Long McQuaid, to be honest. I get much better quality equipment, better pricing, better warranty service, blah, blah, blah. But this is also something you would probably not see in Long McQuaid for sure. These are like an offshoot Chinese branded type amp. They are designed for kids mainly. It gives them an amplifier. However, I'm going to tell you something. For the same money, because it's currently on sale, probably still, check out Long McQuaid. See this big acoustic amp? Now that's just the brand. This is an electric guitar amp. I have a review on it and demo on my channel. This thing cost me $100 on sale at Long McQuaid. Normal price is $140. It's got a 10-inch speaker, 20 watts of power. It's clean. It got tons of headroom too, like tons of it. The typical smaller jacks, which we prefer anyway, okay? Open backed enclosure, okay? I mean, you get a lot of amp for your money here. I would rather spend $100 and get something like this for a kid, even a teenager, than something like that, okay, for the same kind of money. Even at $57, I mean, I would still spend the extra $40 and get $43 and get this, because this is going to do the person for years down the road, and it sounds great. Okay, so there's a big difference. You know, a lot of people say you get what you pay for. Well, you know what? There is some truth to that, and I kid you not. There's definitely truth to that. Now, in case you're curious, and I thought, you know what? Why not just do this anyways? Let's fire this little puppy up on the same guitar, and I'll show you what the acoustic amp sounds like. In case you haven't checked out that video, this would be kind of like a comparison. You could actually hear the difference of what you're actually getting for your money. This also has a tone shift knob, or tone shift switch as well. So we don't have gain control on the little mega amp, but we do on this thing. And I've got the gain set at 1 o'clock. Now that's a far cry better and so much nicer sounding. And my bass, mid, and treble are all at 12 o'clock. Now if we go to the clean channel, now the volume, by the way, on that was like between the 1 and the 2, or somewhere around, I don't know, 7:30 kind of thing, almost 8:30, 8 o'clock kind of thing. And then of course we have that tone shift. Let's have tone shift active on the dirty channel. Tone shift off. So you definitely have a huge sound difference. So we'll go back to this little puppy. Need I say more? That's all we need to do, right? Just one chord? No? Okay, now, need I say more? Okay, so honestly, I'm sure a lot of you know how this is going to go before I even tell you. But I have to tell you anyways, it's part of the video. I don't recommend this thing. I wouldn't even recommend this thing to like my worst enemy if I even had any enemies, okay? This is going to make a person literally go deaf. There is so much high pitchness to it. even when you turn that tone control down, it helps a little, but you pretty much have to kill the tone on the amp and the tone on your guitar to get a decent clean sound out of it even, without going deaf. And it's going to sound very bad because now you've lost all your tone, right? So you need some treble there. But the problem is, as soon as you add it, it starts to really hurt the ears, which this thing does. And that is what is not good, okay? Now, you could probably just, it's got a headphone jack, plug it into a PA system, it might sound better. Plug it in, like I have a PA amp here, and it probably would sound a little bit better. Like I don't see any point in testing that, because you don't buy an amp and then buy a powered PA speaker just to get a good sound. I mean, that's just stupidness, right? So, but this thing is definitely not even worth $57, in my opinion. Okay? Not a chance. Maybe 20 bucks? Maybe. Okay? I've heard better, smaller amps before. I mean, this thing is just kind of very bright and very deafening to the ears. So that's kind of a bad thing. So this is actually something that I would say would be bad for children. Because if you don't want your children to go deaf, don't buy them this. Buy them something that they won't go deaf with so easily. Okay? Now that acoustic amp is a wonderful amp. And like I said, it's been on sale at Long McQuaid the last while for $100. I don't know when that sale ends, but the normal price is $140, and even at $140, that acoustic amp is worth every penny. And again, acoustic is the brand of the amp. It's a G20, so it's an acoustic G20. Look it up on my channel. I've done a full-out demo with that amp, and it is a fantastic amp, even for beginners, but even as a small amp that just has clean and dirty to it. And you could add to it with pedals if you wanted to down the road. However, this thing, it doesn't even sound good on its own, so it's not going to sound any better with pedals, that's for sure. But anyhow, it was cheap enough that it's no loss to me, either way. But it is cool looking, I'll give it that. It is compact, it's not going to take up a lot of space. The problem with it is, even on a really expensive guitar, it makes no difference. You can put on an expensive guitar, you can put on a cheaper guitar. It's not going to make a difference. You're not helping the situation any. You're not going to get it to sound any much real better. We went through a lot of different switch positions. We went through, splitting my coils on my pickups to single coils from humbuckers, and it really didn't help it out much, guys. I would honestly put this thing at somewhere around, I don't know, a 2 out of 5. Okay? It's not perfect. It's too shrilly and bright. It's going to cause deafness. It's probably got headroom. It's got 10 watts. And, we had it up halfway, and it was like, it's really loud in here. What you hear on camera is kind of like nothing, because you're controlling your own speakers on your computer. But it is horribly loud, even at halfway. And it's very deafening to the ears, and it sounds almost like the speaker is going to just rip itself apart. Okay? Yeah. If I was to say this, okay, if you had a choice between buying a 15-watt Fender amp, which I've done reviews of those on my channel, so do check them out, okay, if I had a choice between buying one of those and buying this for the same kind of dollar value, I'll take the Fender in a heartbeat. And I'm really not a massive fan of the Fender amps, because their distortion that they have on them is horrifying. Okay, at least on the small practice amps they are. The one Fender amp I do happen to like that I played on is the Fender Princeton reverb amp. I love that thing. It's gorgeous. But ching baby. But for their small, cheap little amps that even come in kits, I mean, those amps are still way better. They have like generally an 8-inch speaker in them and 15 watts of power, and they actually sound good on the clean. It's just the dirty side, like I said, they're a little on the obnoxious side. But they also have not a lot of headroom, because they get really loud really fast, so you actually run out of headroom on the volume control. This is kind of a similar idea, where it's kind of like peaking itself around the halfway mark. To go much louder with it, I don't know. We definitely are going to damage our hearing, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So I think as far as build quality goes, though, it's built really well. Kudos. Okay. Feature-wise, you don't really need much more than volume, bass, and treble if it was straight clean, but because it's dirty, we also need gain control, so we can actually control the gain, because right now your gain is dictated to by how much volume you turn it up to. Okay, so that's a bad side, but otherwise for the rest of the basic features, kudos. Headphone jack, definitely kudos. Don't deafen the rest of the house, deafen yourself. The MP3 player input thing, I really don't think it's going to sound very good because the amp itself sounds horrible, so I wouldn't count on it sounding any better with an MP3 player through it. But you never know, it just might. Simple basic operation, it doesn't weigh very much, you know. It plugs straight into the wall, so there's no battery system on this. So you can like turn it on and yep, no battery, so you don't have a battery, so it's not that portable. It's ported out at the back here, so it's basically like a closed back with a port in the back end, mainly because they have no front end space. Well, they probably could have put a port up here, but it would take away from the looks. The logo here, that's kind of interesting, you know, it's there at least. Should have to tighten up the screws, didn't see that part. Yeah. So, don't buy it. Don't waste your money. Go buy yourself the acoustic G20. I believe there's also a G10 model as well, although I don't know the specs on it. But these acoustic brand modeled amps are actually really good. You know, I'm pretty happy with this one. And my students seem to like this one too, so hey, kudos. Of course, they all adore my Katana Mark II, but you know, they get to plug into the acoustic one. But I actually personally play that acoustic one too, so if I'm sitting here at my computer and I just want to, you know, play guitar while I'm watching something or doing something, I can just do that, and the amp is here, I can control the levels, because my Katana's on the other side of the room. Anyways, that's what I have for you. Let me know what you guys actually thought of that shrill box. But I definitely would not suggest this for anybody. I don't care if it's a kid, a teenager, an adult, no way. This does not make a viable practice amp, it's not a viable learning tool, and it's going to sound really bad. And sound is pretty much everything to people. It's got to sound good, you know, otherwise they tend to like not use something if it doesn't sound good, right? I know, I'm kind of like that. So yeah, anyways, there you go. I'm out of here, but thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the interesting demo of this amp and the comparison between the two. Let me know what you thought. Now keep in mind too, YouTube compresses stuff, and we are doing this live with no miking up and none of that other jargon stuff, so you actually get the real deal here, okay? But let me know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.